Hey folks, welcome to another edition of the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Today is going to be a little bit of a different topic because I've been getting some feedback on a quiz I posted on my website at heritagewealthplanning.com called the Retirement Readiness Quiz. And it's a lot of people are like, whoa, how'd you do that? It's actually pretty easy to do once you figure it out. So if there's anyone out there who's watching this who also has maybe a side project or is interested in starting a website or putting content out there for a book or a story or whatever or songs, whatever they're trying to do, trust me, I'm the furthest thing from a tech genius, but with some basic, practical application, you can do a lot of stuff on your website through WordPress.org. And I'm going to show you some of that here right now. So let me minimize myself. And it's interesting. We do know there's lots of studies that quizzes online are very, very beneficial to drawing an audience. That's a fact. Now, will your quiz draw an audience? I have no idea. But for me, as I'm trying to build a business, Heritage Wealth Planning, I'm trying to do it as an online presence, my market, my books as I write, as well as my articles, my podcasts. And on top of that, I want people to hire me for essentially a consultant as a financial planner. So as I'm building this business, I need to have an online presence. And one of the ways to do that is to have people come to your website in a very non-sales way to fill out a quiz. They fill out a quiz and they might say, hey, that's pretty interesting. I'd like to talk more to this guy. Or that's pretty interesting. I'd like to buy his book or sign up for his website, whatever it is. And so it's not hard to do, but just there is some trials and tribulations that hopefully this video will help you avoid as I had kind of walked through this. Now, I'm a complete 100% sole proprietor. I do have an LLC, but I'm a sole proprietor. It's just me, and there's no one else there at Heritage Wealth Planning. I don't have a secretary. That's just me. Everything I do comes from me, Josh. Now, my intention isn't to do that for 8 million people. I don't need but 50 clients. Once I get my 50 clients, then I will not take on anymore. And I'll work with those 50 clients essentially for the rest of my life or until they fire me or die. That's it. So for a small business-minded person as myself, that's my goal. So the goal of the website is to draw the clients in that will hire me as a financial planner for them and to keep me on a retainer. And you can see up here my services tab, how much I charge for that. I won't get into that here today. But I also want to have books out there, and I want to have videos out there and blog posts out there and podcasts out there because, I find a lot of things are interesting to me that are financial related, but on top of that, not just financial related, but stuff that's been of interest to me over the 20 years I've been in this business that I just want to say, people can listen to it or not. But I also find a lot of that stuff can be very, very helpful to people as well. And even if they don't hire me or buy my book, I tell you, you're put on this world to help people. I'm fully 100% a Christian, believe fully in the rise of Jesus Christ from the dead. And he didn't do that only for those people who loved him. He did that for everybody. The entire being of humanity was saved by Jesus. And the goal of that is not to be like Jesus, 'cause I'll never be like Jesus, but to say, hey, we live in an abundant society. Be helpful, pay it forward, however you want to believe it, as an atheist, as a Buddhist, as a Jewish person, as a Catholic Protestant, as a Muslim, I don't care. But remember, we're here to help people. And the more you help people, the better society we're creating. And I truly, truly believe that. And I believe that because I believe Jesus did that for all of us. You may or may not believe that. That's fine. That's up to you. But at the end of the day, no one's going to argue that we need to create a better world. And one of the ways to do that is simply to help people, even if it doesn't reward you on this earth. You're paying it forward and you'll capture glory in the future, not because of such a good person you are, but just how many people you've helped. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So if we can just show you something here on how I created this quiz, I think it would be pretty interesting. So here's my website, Heritage Wealth Planning. And you go down there, you see my little video I got and my books and all that. And here's my blog, which kind of everything feeds off my blog. All right. So the Heritage Wealth Planning front page is static. Nothing changes there. It's my blog that changes a lot, where I do my podcast. I put my podcast posts on there. I put blogs, writing blogs on there. I put my videos like I'll do here on there. So everything feeds through the blog. If you watch the James Altucher website, jamesaltucher.com, Altucher, so Altucher. It looks like a similar way he does that, where he just puts everything on his main page. I think it's on his blog too, actually, now I think about it. And just everything is kind of flowing through there. And I actually like that style. Now, it does make it a little bit confusing. You want to look at the podcast episodes. Well, you got to kind of separate those out and things of that nature. But it's a nice way to have everything kind of fluid there, flowing through there, where the other pages are just stagnant. All right, so here you see I got my last 2 podcasts on there. And here's the retirement readiness quiz, which I posted. So let's click on that. And what you do here is you just answer 3 questions. Pretty simple, pretty cut and dry. And I'll show you exactly what it looks like here when it pops up. All right, so you see the 3 questions. You'll see I have a video explaining each question. How much annual income will you need in retirement? And then I have a video which will show you that answer to that. So we're just going to click on, I don't know. And we're going to click. Now, take you to the next question. How much is your annualized primary insurance amount? Again, there's a video explaining that question. We'll click on, I don't know, or not sure. And then subtract B from A and divide by 0.04. Is your liquid net worth more than this? How to answer question 3. And we're just going to say no here just for simplicity. Then it'll give you the answers. You have some work to do. All right, that's great. And then you can play again. So how did I do that? So if you go to if you have a WordPress.org, now WordPress.com is different than WordPress.org. The mistake I initially made was I started, everyone's saying WordPress. So I assumed that meant WordPress.com. And there is some, it's not a bad place to start to learn, blogging and website, maintenance and whatnot. The drawback is you can't do a whole lot there. It's very structured, so you can't get a lot of the plugins that you need, and you certainly can't hardly do any e-commerce. And so what I want to share with you here is that when this is the WordPress, essentially what's called a dashboard. And this is all the stuff that you can manipulate. You can do it anything you want. And here's the critical thing, plugins. So the plugins are where you get really you're plugging in a software program to put on your website that will do different things. And everything is focused right through there, plugins. And that's the critical part of your WordPress.org blog is that we got to get different plugins. And now on my joshscanlon.com blog, I have a ton more plugins because that's kind of my experimental website. Experimenting with different plugins, what works best, what's easier to use, blah, blah, blah. On this, my business website, I don't have that many plugins, but the one I do have is this right here, is WP Quiz. And I've tried a couple different ones, and this one by far is the one I like best. And I don't know if I'm sure there's a better one out there, but I found this simply by typing how to create a quiz on WordPress. And then on YouTube, and then you see a bunch of different things. I've tried about 2 or 3, maybe even 4 different plugins, and this by far is the one I like the best. It's just as easy. And it's not just easy, but it's also, they show you step by step in some of the YouTube videos on how to do it. And one of the reasons for that is these guys actually get commissions if you buy WP Quiz, if you actually buy the pro version of it, which I don't have. If you do that through one of the guys or ladies who puts it on YouTube, they'll get what's called affiliate commission. I don't know how much. I have no clue how much it is, no clue how it works, but that's good. It gives them incentive to give you information that you can use for your own websites. Maybe someday I'll do affiliates because I think it's pretty interesting. When you find good products, you can sell them to other people, get commissions on it, and as long as those people that you're selling to trust you, everyone's happy. I do follow a guy named Miles Beckler, and he does a lot of affiliate marketing for various firms that he likes. And I trust that guy implicitly because all the stuff he's done for me as a blogger, as a host, what I'm doing here, just all this YouTube stuff and podcasting, he's just been a huge boost to me. And so if he recommends a product that I need, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it through him. I want him to get paid on it because he's given me much more value than I'll ever be able to repay him by buying his product. As of this stage, I don't do that. If and when I do that, it's going to be down the road. I'll certainly let you know. But as of this stage, I just don't have time. So what we do here is we go to WP Quiz and you hit all quizzes. And I'm just going to show you what my quiz looks like right here. Let me take a drink of water, actually. How it works. So what you do is you got my retirement readiness quiz. You click on this guy right here. I'm telling you, folks, once you figure this out, it's easy to do, but you got to figure it out. And this is the quiz right here. So quiz. And what you're going to want to do is you want to drop that. Here we go. Oops. There it was. All right. So what you want to do here is you'll see this is the quiz. Now there's 3 different types of quiz. And again, I just have the free plugin. I do not have the pro one. You start with the free. If it looks like you need to get more traction and build up, by all means, buy the pro one. I don't think it costs that much, maybe $40. Actually, I talked to my brother yesterday. It's amazing with technology what you can do now for less than $100. It's amazing. To do this 5 years ago, you couldn't have done it. You need to hire a developer, a software engineer, and just that you just couldn't. Just a regular Joe Schmo like old Josh here, sitting in Alpharetta, Georgia, could not do this on his own. It's absolutely it's astounding what you can do to create a website, to create the plugins, the apps, and all that for, basically nothing. My hosting, that just on a side note, for how much it costs this website, it costs like $15 a year to host it. Now I hired a developer to put it on initially, and that costs about $1,500. So that's $1,500 because it's got to be professionally done, and I didn't have time to do all that myself and plug and play and figure it out. I could have easily. It just is something I want to hire out to, but going forward, I'll probably just do it myself. Either way, though, other than that, the actual website itself, $15, maybe $20 a year to host it, 15 or $20 a year for your website name, what's called your domain name. In this case, Heritage Wealth Planning. JoshScanlon.com I own some other domain names too, which again, probably all that $100 for 6 different domain names. The website hosting is $20. You get some plugins. The vast majority are free. I have on my other website what's called Opt-in Monster, which costs $100 a year, and I don't get to that here today. But it's just it's incredibly cheap what you can do, and then everything else is free. My podcast that I do is free. YouTube is free. Now I do have a mic. This costs $25. It's a Bluebell, I think is what it's called, and you want to get a good mic for sure. And this laptop I'm using here is a Chromebook Dell. It costs $150. It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do with less than $500. All right, so here's a quiz. You got 3 different types: personality, trivia, and flip cards. This one's a personality, and that just simply means you start with the answers first. All right, and so what you do here is you put this is where it got a little bit tricky for me. The trivia one's easy. Trivia one, if you go to the trivia quiz, and I haven't done flip cards yet, so I'm ignorant, but trivia quiz is simply say, is 2 + 2 4? Yes or no? They say no, it says wrong. If they say yes, you see, and then they're right. And then what you do is 2 + 2, is 2 + 3, 5. You go on to as many questions as you want. The quiz compiles the results when it's done. You simply tell the plugin, if they have 80% of the answers correct or more, they win. If they have 79% of the answers incorrect, they lose, or whatever you want to do. It's crazy. It's so simple. It's insane. The personality quiz is a little bit difficult initially because you're starting with the answers first. And so this took me probably 4 or 5 hours to kind of figure out, watching some videos, kind of going back and messing around. But so you got my 2 answers. Good job, you succeeded, or you have some work to do. And here you got to say, looks like your description, looks like you've done your homework, you're now ready to tackle the next quiz. And then, that's it. That's literally it. And then you say, you have some homework to do or some work to do, but no worries, you've taken a huge first step, blah, blah, blah. That's all you're doing. Literally, that is your answer guide. But now you got to add the questions. One thing I'll tell you before you do any of this, this red button box here is there for a reason, because this is where I screwed up about 3 or 4 times. Add the results and then save the draft. Now mine's already published, but you'll see a save draft thing up here. Once you start this, add the results and make sure you save the draft. If you add the results and then add the questions and you hadn't saved the draft, it won't work. And you'll be like, what happened? And you got to start from scratch. So just the reason I have this in red is to get your attention. And it didn't get my attention at first. So with 2 or 3 attempts, I was like, oh man, but now I got it. So just make sure if you do this, save the results, or do the results, save draft, and then add the questions. So here go the questions here. How much annual income, blah, blah, blah. This is where you can put a video or an image or nothing. I put my video in there, and the answer is here. And then, so that's the question. How much income will you need? Now, here are the answers to that specific question. I know that, which gives me 2 points, which is strong if they answer it, or no points if they answer it incorrectly, which is there is no strength to this. Basically, they failed the question. All right, so that's what that means. And you can make this number anything you want. So what happens is you say, I know this, they get 2 points. Which is how it correlated with good job. That's what I mean to say. So I know this, they answer the correct answer. That means they get 2 points, which is coordinated with good job. Now, if they say I'm not, and you have some work to do, you get a 0 because if they say I know this, I want good job to be the answer that goes with I know this, which is why they have a number there. If they say not sure, well, I want not sure to have no correlation or strength or relationship with good job. It's got to have relationship with you have some work to do. Does that kind of make sense? Let me go back over that. So there's two answers let's just do this again. There's two answers that they have in this. So the question is, how much annual income will you need in retirement? There's two answers. I know this. If they hit I know this, I want them to be rewarded with a correct answer, which is good job. All right, and that's why they get 2 points for a good job. All right, so we cancel out that. If they say, I'm not sure, that's not the right answer. That means they have 2 points for they have some work to do. All right, and remember, good job and you have some work to do are the results that's going to happen when they finish this quiz. So at the end of the 3 questions or 10 questions, how many questions they are, they're going to get one of 2, or they can have more, but in this case, they're going to get one of 2 results, good job or you have some work to do. And so because the answers are affiliated or related to one of these 2 results, you have to put a number there for points, how many points they got for each answer. Hope that kind of makes sense. It might not. It's a good idea to kind of practice with it. Now, I want to skip to number C, because here's a question that what I found is what could happen is that they answered C wrong, even if they got A and B correct. I did not want them to get a good job result, because C is the most important answer on my quiz. Basically, what I'm shooting for is, do you have enough money to retire? If they say C, if the answer to C is no, and here are the answers, well, regardless of how they answered A and B, they can't pass. They need I hate to say fail, but they have some work to do. All right, and what I was finding is they keep getting answers A and B correct and then C incorrect, and it's still showing that they succeeded in my quiz, but they hadn't. There's only one way to succeed in my quiz, which is getting all 3 answers correct. That's it. If they of the other options of the 5 of the other 6 remaining opportunities, or I guess 7 of the other 8, I forgot how many total responses there were. There's only one way to pass, getting all questions correct. And if they did not get all questions correct, then I can't have them pass. So what I did here for C, if they answered yes on C, I wanted them to have 2 points, right? Again, we had 2 points in A, 2 points in B, 2 points in C for answering correctly. And again, correctly, they're going to get a thing. It probably says good job. But what if they answered yes on A question, B question? They got 2 points each. But what if they answered no here? Well, in this case, I needed to get, it could be anything, but I just put 8 points for no, because I needed that question to result in that they have some work to do. Even if they got A and B right, I needed the C answer, if they got it wrong, to reflect that they still have some work to do. I hope that makes sense. And so here you can change the points they get that are correlated with how they answered this. And here they got 8 points, which overwhelms the 2 previous correct answers. 8 points, you have some work to do. They answered A and B questions right. That's 2 points for right question 1, 2 points for right question 2. That's 4 total good job points, but that's dwarfed by the 8 you have some work to do points. Does that kind of make sense? So that's where it kind of took me for a little bit of a loop, but I was able to figure it out, and hopefully you can too. Now, this is a real simple quiz. Only got 3 questions, and let's just cancel out this. Only got 3 questions. Only has 2 answers. A and B. Did you do this? Yes or no? Have you done that? Yes or no? That's it. So, and then there's only 2 results: good job, or you have some work to do. So the simplest quiz you could possibly think, but that goes back to my whole mentality, which is keep it simple, stupid. Initially, I had this quiz where I was using the trivia quiz right here. Actually, I think I might be able to show you that. All quizzes. Let me show you what the trivia quiz looks like here. Is this it? The question. Yeah. Let me see if that's it or not. But the trivia quiz was the one, and it looks like it's not going to find it. Yeah, so sorry, not found. I thought I had that. Let me just look at it real quick. The trivia quiz is simple. It's basically, again, 1 + 1 is 2, yes or no. 2 + 2 is 4, yes or no. But I had a lot. I deleted that. That's right. I did. I remember I had like 10 or 15 questions. And my wife's like, man, that's too much. People are, just don't want to answer that many questions, most likely. And I actually tend to agree with that. So if you're doing a quiz, you want to keep it as simple as you can. Absolutely. That way people actually do it and they follow through with it. And if you're trying to get them to do that in order to be, to find out more of your information that you provide, you don't want them to be bogged down in a quiz that takes 15 minutes. You want to make it as quick, as painless as possible, but you also want to be informative as well too, which is why I like this quite a bit. It's easy to do. It's easy to be informed. It's easy for them to say, hey, thanks, Josh, I'm on my merry way. Or, hey, thanks, Josh, I like what you're doing. Sign me up for more information or whatever. And that's what we're trying to accomplish and ultimately. So I hope this helps. Again, this is just a snapshot of what I'm doing for this quiz. Again, I'm not a guru on this stuff by any stretch of imagination. If you're using quizzes and have a better methodology, I'd love to hear it for sure. I am really trying to keep my budget low. So if you have a $15,000 million quiz, I'm not going to be interested. I'm telling you right now, keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm telling you, it's just a way to go. But if you have something, folks, that that might work better, I'm all ears for sure. But as we sit here right now, I'm a big fan of this WP quiz for sure. I'll link to the video that I saw on this guy who did it. It was WP. I forgot what his blog or his YouTube video was. I'll just link to it. It's WP something. Anyway, I'll link to that because it's pretty informative. And if you buy it, the professional model through this guy, buy it through him because he'll get a small, I don't know, maybe $20. But I think it'd be worth it because he does a lot of good work and really helped me a lot. All right. Well, if you guys have any financial related questions or any comments on what we talked about here today, please put them in the comment section. Comments help me grow the YouTube channel. Thumbs up, please give me a thumbs up for sure, guys. And then finally, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell down there so be informed of new content that we do. Doing content every day, be a podcast, be a blog post, be videos like this. And then just, Heritage Wealth Planning is a website. Share it with your friends. Take the quiz yourself. Share it with your friends, neighbors, everybody that might be interested in if they have the retirement readiness if they're ready to retire or not. The quiz will tell them if they are. I'm just telling you, it's that simple, but it's that truth too. So look forward to seeing you guys again next time on the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks.